Hello and welcome to the Harris Federation Scheme of Work on Times of Change. This is a creative writing unit where you will produce your own creative writing when you've finished all of the lessons. This can be an imagined piece or it can be a personal experience of your own. So have your pen and paper ready and be creative. Remember, this is a video format, so you can pause at any time whenever you need to do your work or if you need to go back and recap any ideas. Enjoy your lesson.
In today's lesson, we are looking at the letter footballer Marcus Rashford wrote to Boris Johnson. Marcus Rashford is a Premier League footballer who plays for Manchester United and England. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Rashford donated millions to the charity FareShare, a charity that helps feed families who are living in poverty. In June 2020, Rashford wrote an open letter to Boris Johnson and other MPs, asking that the free school meals voucher system that is utilised during term time by many families is extended to also cover the 6-week summer holidays. In today's lesson, we will be looking at how Marcus Rashford attempts to persuade government to agree with him and extend the scheme. The letter is very long, so for the purposes of this lesson, we will look at a small extract. However, to fully understand Rashford's argument, you should read the whole thing by yourself. The letter was so effective that government agreed that the system should be extended. Read through the whole letter on your own first. Then take a look at the small snippets that have been selected here that we will look specifically at today. Understand, without the kindness and generosity of the community I had around me, there wouldn't be the Marcus Rashford you see today, a 22-year-old black man lucky enough to make a career playing a game I love. My story to get here is all too familiar for families in England. My mum worked full-time, earning minimum wage to make sure we always had a good evening meal on the table. But it was not enough. The system was not built for families like mine to succeed, regardless of how hard my mum worked. This is not about politics, this is about humanity. Looking at ourselves in the mirror and feeling like we did everything we could to protect those who can't, for whatever reason or circumstance, protect themselves. Political affiliations aside, can we not all agree that no child should be going to bed hungry? This is a system failure, and without education, we're encouraging this cycle of hardship to continue. To put this pandemic into perspective, from 2018 to 2019, 9 out of 30 children in any given classroom were living in poverty in the UK. This figure is expected to rise by an additional 1 million by 2022. In England today, 45% of children in black and minority ethnic groups are now in poverty. This is England in 2020. As a black man from a low-income family in Wythenshawe, Manchester, I could have been just another statistic. Instead, due to the selfless actions of my mum, my family, my neighbours and my coaches, the only stats I'm associated with are goals, appearances and caps. I would be doing myself, my family and my community an injustice if I didn't stand here today with my voice and my platform and ask you for help. The government has taken a whatever-it-takes approach to the economy. I'm asking you today to extend that same thinking to protecting all vulnerable children across England. I encourage you to hear their pleas and find your humanity. Please reconsider your decision to cancel the food voucher scheme over the summer holiday period and guarantee the extension. This is England in 2020, and this is an issue that needs urgent assistance. Please, while the eyes of the nation are on you, make the U-turn and make protecting the lives of some of our most vulnerable a top priority. Yours sincerely, Marcus Rashford. When trying to convince someone to see something from your point of view, there are a range of techniques that you can use to make your point. Have a look at the following sentences from Rashford's letter and see if you can identify what persuasive technique he has used. The use of personal anecdotes or using the first person I makes the argument more personal and encourages the reader to feel like they know what this person is talking about. And the use of rhetorical questions makes the reader think about what their answer would be. Rashford uses statistics, and using facts adds detail and reliable information to the argument, which makes the reader feel more confident that the argument has been well researched and thought through. And the use of emotive language appeals to the emotions of the reader so that they can empathise with the cause that you are trying to promote. Think of something that you feel very strongly about. It might be a change you would like to make or a cause you think is really important. Some ideas for you include talking about really big things like global warming or the Black Lives Matter protests, or talking about something smaller that mainly only affects you, like homework or wearing school uniform. Using these or one of your own, mind map why you think the issue you've chosen is important. What techniques could be used in your own writing to help you persuade the reader to your way of thinking? Use the Marcus Rashford letter and your own plan to write a persuasive letter, either to an MP, the local council, or your head teacher, convincing them to make a change. Use the following bullet points to help you structure your piece of writing. You will need to include a well-researched argument, use of persuasive techniques, punctuation for effect, and creating empathy for your reader. When you have finished writing, read back through it and label where you have included the following bullet points.